Hello, everybody. Welcome to Release with Ease. I am your host, Edith Bekis, and this show was brought to you by Bold Brave TV. And today's topic is going to be panic attacks. Either you are experiencing it or somebody around you, or might you don't even know that you are experiencing panic attacks. So this episode is going to give you a lot of advice, recommendations, awareness about these symptoms basically, and also some practices what you can already do when you are experiencing this. I went through panic attacks since my 20s, and this was actually the situation which guided me towards holistic practices. And it stayed with me, I would say, for a couple of decades before I was able to crack the code. And now I am able to help others just to get rid of panic attacks in 30 days, right? So this is what I wanted to share with you, what I actually experienced, what I use with my clients, and just open your eyes to different, help and what you can actually do to better your life, even you going through panic attacks, and how can you actually stop it eventually and not experiencing any more panic attacks, right? So if you don't know what is a panic attack, and maybe you are having it but you don't know that you're having it, just let me explain the symptoms. Most of the time when people is having panic attacks, they are having pressure in their chest. They also feel like very much fear and scare them, like in their being, in their senses. And then they also can have some shakings in their body, and but mostly it's fear, and mostly is the breath, like they start breathing very fast, and then they also having some pressure in their chest. So what they mostly experience is fear of death. It sounds ridiculous, I know, because they are far from dying, that's for sure, but they have this really they have some sensations but they cannot explain, and that's creating this reaction. So basically, when they are able to fix themselves not having that sensation, that would already be one of the solution, not having this reaction. But why they are having this reaction, this overreacting situation, is because they have some weakness in their physical and emotional body basically, so they come out as this much reaction. So normally, like people, when they fear, they have some certain fear or they're experiencing something, they have anxiety, right? So panic attacks is like an amplified anxiety and having much more symptoms, basically much more reactions. And most of the time these people actually call ambulance, call ER, and rushing in because they are scared that, oh, am I having a heart attack? Am I having like whatever, like, choking, or they cannot explain. I ended up in ER several times when I was in my 20s and 30s because of the same reason, because I already imagined that something terrible is happening to me, especially like heart attacks and stuff. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but I also feel with the people who's going through that, because they don't know what they are going through, right? They are scared. They don't know why their bodies feels like shutting off, literally, because they not just feel this intense pressure in their chest, and then this that they need to breathe intensively, and this shaking in their body, but many times they are also experiencing close to fainting, or because of the breath, how they breathe, how they breathing, it's also sometimes is going into the way of like fainting or something. So it's scary to getting in that state so suddenly, and that's care them is, which is asking them to call the ER or call ambulance and just get some help because they don't know what's going on, right? So that's what happened to me. And I was, at the first time, I didn't know it was panic attack. I didn't know what was going on. Basically, I just felt really like I felt the pressure, I felt shaking, I felt the insecurity, and feeling like I'm gonna faint. And then I was with someone, so the person took me to a doctor, and then the first thing they gave it to me was a tranquilizer, basically a pill, right, to calm down. That was the first thing that I get. But later I was even panicking from the results of that medication. And so it was like a spiral, basically. So if you are in that mental state, you spiraling up. But then I also realized that even later times, whenever I had panic attacks, it was always related to my physical well-being, my physical vitality very closely. So it was most of the time that I either get a virus infection, or I got any kinds of physical, like for example, wasn't sleeping enough, not having enough vitamins, nutrients. So basically my body reacted intensively because of that lack of certain things in my body, and feeling weak, feeling out of control. And whenever I felt really weak and out of control and felt like losing it kind of way, then I started to have panic attacks. And then I also realized that this was pretty much also connected with whatever I was drinking and eating, as I said, especially caffeine. So the caffeine was also doing spikes in my system. I'm not sure how you are experiencing caffeine, but this is the first thing which I ask my clients, to stop drinking caffeine when they are having anxiety, stress, depression, panic attacks, mental illness, basically. And the other thing is alcohol, right? So the caffeine is creating spikes. So you feel great when it's going up, right? You feel energized, but it's the same time is dropping you off as well. And then if you are experiencing at the same time certain virus infections, or going through, some illnesses, some weakness in your body, or you haven't slept enough, then basically the caffeine spikes can bring you even more down, and then you losing control, you feel like fainting, you have lower blood pressure, and then that can also create this panic, like what's going on. And that's how it happened to me basically several times. So the solutions, what are the solutions, right? So today I'm gonna guide you through some solutions which is related to taking some herbs, doing some certain activities which helping managing this. But we're also going to practice some kind of a holistic approach. And then I'm also going to tell you some practices which I do with my clients, which eventually stop this, and how it can be actually stopped completely. All right. So let's think about it. Like I talked about how important is the sleep. So one of the things what you can do, make sure you go to bed on time, which means not after midnight. Okay. So, and have at least 7-8 hours sleep. Why not after midnight? If you are going through in a proper biological clock, then you are having your deepest sleep is like around midnight. And then if you miss that part, your delta brainwaves, then you're not getting produced those necessary hormones that you need for your well-being. So you miss that phase when you're going into delta brainwaves, and that is what causing first your weakness in your body. So make sure you go to sleep around 10-11 p.m. so you have the deep sleep time at the right time, so you can produce those extra hormones. And then you sleep at least 7-8 hours. I know some people operate with 5-6 hours. That's their thing. If you are struggling with your health, if you're struggling with panic attacks, I'm just recommending it for you to make sure that you have enough sleep. Okay. The other thing is, again, stop drinking caffeine, alcohol, and you can also, I would say, eat less or stop eating gluten and processed sugar, because they are also scientifically proven that they affecting your mental health, amplifying the reactions basically. So that would be also great if you can take them out of your diet. And then sleep, and then make sure that you have extra supplements if you're not eating enough meat, or not if you are in a vegan diet or vegetarian diet and you're not getting enough vitamin B, iron, protein. Just make sure that you actually add extra into your diet with supplements, or taking some extra things, because that's also necessary for your mental health as well, not just for your physical well-being. Okay. And so after you take care of these basic things, then there are some extra tools you can use or things you can done. So one of the things which I also experienced when I used to have the panic attacks, that it wasn't just the panic attacks in themselves, which was like very severe, but between phase was also really, how can I say, uncomfortable. What was happening? I felt many times dizzy, and I felt like when I was walking on the street that the walls is kind of like leaning towards me. And then if I was walking next to a truck or a bigger vehicle, then I felt again that it's leaning towards me. So it was very scary, even just going out to a crowd, out to in a bigger buildings, between bigger buildings in a bigger city, you know, for example, or being in a crowd. It was all amplified the negative feelings and sensations. So that's one thing which I'm also going to explain you after the break, how you can actually tackle with that. Okay, how can you make it smoother while you are healing from panic attacks? So you are watching Release with Ease. I am your host, Edith Bekis, and this show was brought to you by Bold Brave TV, and we are coming back after a couple of minutes. Welcome back, everybody. You are watching Release with Ease, and I am your host, Edith Bekis, and this show was brought to you by Bold Brave TV. And let's continue how you can actually tackle panic attacks. First, I'm going to explain some quick fix methods. We're also going to do some meditation, and then later I will come back also to explain you something which helps you to finally really end it for good. Okay, so some quick fix. All right, so I was just explaining to you that how I experienced it when I was having panic attacks, and between the panic attacks as well. I was actually a university student. I had to go to crowded places, I had to go to university, and I was still having these weird sensations. So one of the things which has really helped me is drinking water. Why is that? Because when you are having these sensations, you are in your mind, you are pretty much thinking about it, and you watching yourself. Basically, you're focusing on yourself, and you're making up assumptions what is happening in your body and with you, and that's what starts scaring you, right? As soon as you can get out of your mind and out of these thought patterns, you feel more relaxed and you feel more safe. So when you are carrying a water bottle around and then you're drinking the water, basically your body and yourself, you're focusing on drinking instead of your thought patterns. So that's kind of like breaking the pattern. It's called also pattern interrupt. So you're doing a pattern interrupt in your situation. So it's helping you to disconnect from your negative assumptions, negative mind, running mind about this panic attack situation. So you feel, you connect, you ground yourself with drinking water. Basically, you can also, eat or whatever, but basically you can't eat all the time. So drinking water one at a time, like small parts of the time, it's really a good help. And then the other thing which I used is, you probably heard about the herb St. John's wort. And St. John's wort is, you can drink it in a tea, you can have capsules, you can buy it in stores or in pharmacies. What you need to be careful with that, you can't use it if you are in very bright sun, which means, like, I would reframe it. So if you take St. John's wort, don't go to the sun because your skin is much more vulnerable, so you can get burned easily. So the period of time you can take St. John's wort is around 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, you need to take a break of taking it. So you can take it like in termines, right? The other thing which helped me is exercising, but there is a certain exercise which is particularly good for mental health, and you will be surprised to learn about this. It's actually the tennis. And nowadays, what is the very popular game which is very close to tennis, and suddenly people just playing it like crazy, is the pickleball, right? So pickleball is really great for mental health. And why is that? Because you have to focus on, at the same time, your eyes and your hands. So you coordinate your eyes and your hands at the same time, and your feet when you're running around, obviously. But because of this eye-hand coordination, your neurons and your brain is working on the way that is actually helping you mitigate some mental issues. So I realized I was playing back then tennis. I started to play tennis when I was having panic attacks. And then I realized that how much it helped with all the symptoms, even with the, when I was talking about this buildings moving on me and the crowd and stuff. So I realized a really big improvement in my mental health while I was playing tennis, because again, you are not in your mind, you're focusing on the ball. You're not focusing on yourself anymore, what's going on in your body, what you're sensing, what you're feeling. You're focusing on that ball, and then to catch the ball and run for the ball. So it's really great for mental health. So try playing tennis. If the tennis is too intense for you, then obviously pickleball is here now. So pickleball is much lighter, it's easier to play, and it's for every age. So even if you are in the 50s, 60s, and you are not that athletic, you can easily play also pickleball. And they also recommend it because it brings in also the community feeling. If you play in pairs and then you are doing runs in the field, then basically you are also spending time with the community, chatting, talking. And again, it's taking off your mind from your own fears, from your own sensations and feelings. Because most of the time what is happening, you making up stories. That's why you're having panic attacks. Is never severe, is never anything to afraid of what's happening. It's you making up stories about yourself and about your condition. That's why you start panicking. And obviously you need to make sure you take care of your body. Okay, so you're not going to play pickleball when you haven't slept at night and you are very tired, obviously. Okay, so first take care of the sleep, the nutrients, the food, and then if you're still having some symptoms, then you can play pickleball and take your St. John's wort, right? So that would be like, that's how I would build up my strengths, or my way of managing or tackling panic attacks. So that's one way of doing it. The other thing is, what could happen is that you are experiencing these physical symptoms because there is still something in your body what you need to pay attention. Many times when people say that they have pressure in their chest and they start panicking about the pressure in their chest, this can be for several reasons. Many times is because they are heartburns after food. So eating a light dinner or eating dinner very early, like 5-6 p.m., it's really great, because then you're not getting heartburns like around 7-8-9 p.m. and you're not starting panicking why your chest is hurting, right? I had those people, I'm telling you. And then the other thing is, other thing why you can have chest pain is even because you were sitting wrongly and your muscles or even your skeleton, like your ribs, are uncomfortable and hurting. So just moving your body, doing some yoga exercises is always recommended. The pain is always showing you where are some dense energy. So when there is some dense energy, stuck energy, it's move it around, move it out, especially if it's not that intense and is not something which is always there, but it's just like coming, going on a certain period of time of the day. Then I highly recommend you to actually do exercises, yoga exercises, when you're moving out that area and you are training on that area more. So it's moving out the energy as well, and then it's bettering your condition as well physically. Okay, and again, make sure that your diet is good. You don't eat too much spices, and the spices can create heartburn, or eating fatty food, and especially if you eat late, and then you're feeling that stuck air in your chest, which is causing panic attacks. I would really love to know, if you are someone who's experiencing panic attacks, what do you think why you are having panic attacks? So if you're watching this video anywhere on any platform, please leave a comment that what actually creates your panic attacks, or what are your sensations before you start having panic attacks, because your panic attacks is connected to a sensation. So you first having some sensations and then you create your panic attacks, because you don't know what the sensation is. You are feeling out of control And that's why you start panicking, right? Because you don't have the answer. So now when we are tuning into the more solutions, I've talked about you don't know the answer, right? When you are actually more spiritual, you more aligned with the divine, you are more connected with your higher self, you connected with the angel spirit guides, then you start to feel more safe, right? Because you feel like, okay, there is some other guidance I can step into. I can actually ask for help, ask for energy to heal myself, ask for answers, what's going on with me. So basically, when you meditate or you tune into these energies, you feel also more calm, you feel more safe, because and then you don't mind that you are not in control, right? You don't mind that, because you just allow it, accept it, allow it to happen to you, and just observe it. So being an observer and accepting your situation is the first point to feeling calm, and then acknowledging that you are safe and you are looked after. And just being an observer is allowing you to look at the whole situation from a different perspective. Like, what's happening to my body? Like, what is the thing which is actually going on, and how serious is this, or why is it start to happen? What can I do to mitigate it? And then just having that conversation and just looking at it from a different perspective as an observer, when you feel already safe and supported through the higher energies, is really important. So that's how when I had panic attacks, I ended up learning Reiki healing. So how the Reiki healing was helping me is basically managed my reactions, made me more calm and more safe, because I brought in the light energy from the divine. And then when you are in that energy, basically you're raising the vibration of the body to the universal vibration, which is the healing vibration for your body. So your body start healing. The body in that vibration knows what to heal, how to heal. And then when you are in that very high vibration, there is no place for negative energies. So you can do this through Reiki healing, but there is other ways, like the Samadhi meditation I many times practice here with you guys on this show. So the Samadhi meditation is also one of the way how you can raise your vibration and connect to the divine for healing. Today we are going to do a couple of exercises. One of them is going to be the elemental healing, when we're going to connect to elements and use that for your benefits, even when you have panic attacks. Okay, why we are not doing Samadhi meditation is because when someone is having panic attacks, Samadhi meditation is, I'm not saying it's too long, but you need to be too in tuned or more relaxed to actually able to use the benefits of samadhi. So when someone having panic attacks, I first start with elemental healing or energy healing, and other modalities, breathing. And then when they are enough calm, then we can start doing the samadhi meditation basically, and the source memory healing, to make sure that this situation is getting better. So after the break, we're going to tune into some elemental meditation. This meditation you can also find in my Elemental Light Healer course, which I created 2 years ago for quick fix. I call it a quick fix because I believe energy healing is a quick fix. It's just basically mitigate and feel you better for a temporary time. And then source memory healing is basically the sustainable, the long lasting results, but it's coming from the source memory healing. So after the break, get ready for a light meditation with elements, which can help you with tackling panic attacks as well. All right. So you are watching Release with Ease. I am your host, Edith Bekis, and this show was brought to you by Bold Brave TV. Hello, welcome back everybody. You are watching Release with Ease, and I am your host Edith Bekis, and this show was brought to you by Bold Brave TV, and we are continue the show with a meditation. So you can do this meditation sit up straight or laying down. We're going to connect with the 4 elements for healing, and I'm going to guide you through this. So please close your eyes, relax your body, breathe evenly. With every inhale, you inhale peace. With every exhale, you exhale toxins. Do this 4 to 5 times. Inhale peace, exhale toxins. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders, relax your arms. Breathe evenly. First, we are going to connect to Mother Earth with the Earth element. Mother Earth represents a very powerful energy. So just imagine that there are strong roots coming out of your body, from your root chakra, from your palms, and from the sole of your feet, and going down deep, deep into the earth and connecting to the center of the earth. And you use this connection to release negative energies from your body. If you feel any heaviness in your body, if you have a sensation of heaviness, pain, or dense energy, just imagine that you release it through these cords, these roots towards the earth. And the earth is going to change it into good energies, alchemize it. And now feel that the earth is sending you up powerful energies into your system. You can see it as a beautiful light, a crystalline light coming from the earth towards you on the roots and energizing you with the earth element. Ground you, make you feel safe and supported, bring you stability. And now I want you to imagine that a very strong wind is blowing through your aura, is clearing your aura. A very powerful element is the air element. It's clearing your aura from entities and negative energies. Just blowing through it. When you are going out to crowded places or hospitals, church or cemetery, you can pick up negative entities which can later harm you when you are in a negative emotions and your aura is weak. So we want to make sure that these entities are not on your aura anymore. So this wind is taking care of it, blowing off all of these entities. They are weak, they are weaker than the elements. They don't have too much power in the 3D reality. And now I want you to imagine that a beautiful big wave, ocean wave, is washing over you. And washing off all the pain, all the suffering, all the old stories, everything which is holding you back, what is self-sabotaging you. We are made of water as well. 70% of our body is water. Imagine that this powerful wave is just helping your own water to get clean. They cleanse together. Your water is reacting towards negative emotions and negative thought patterns. This powerful wave, ocean wave, is turning these negative energies into positive ones and changing the pattern of your water, the vibration of your water element, raising your vibration. And you instantly feel in a better mood. And now just feel that a very gentle rain is start pouring over you. You feel the drops on your face, on your skin, on your arms, on your legs. This gentle rain is raining on you. Connecting you to higher energies. Finalizing the cleansing. With every drop on your face, with every drop on your arms, you feel more powerful and stronger and stronger. And now as the rain stops, a bright light is opening up above the clouds. Through the clouds. And this bright light is creating a column over you. It's a beautiful white light which is connecting you to the divine. And as you are in this column of light, it's filling you up with powerful energies. It's bringing you the vibration of the divine, the healing of the divine. You are vibrating at the frequency of the universe, where there is no pain, no suffering, no struggles. in this vibration is only healing, joy, happiness, and bliss. You are never alone. You are always taken care of. And you can step into this energy anytime when you feel weak or vulnerable. This energy will bring back your power and showing you that you are one with this energy. You are no different. You can embody the universal frequency anytime. And now you can bring your awareness back into your third eye, and you can open your eyes if you feel so. Welcome back, everybody. So this was an easy practice to use the elements for your cleansing and empowering. And you can understand that it's in your power and it's in your control, right? That you can bring into your system whatever you want. And I believe you want health, happiness, joy, then you bring in the things into your system which can support that, right? It's the elements, it's the universe, it's the light, it's the good feelings. That's what you want to bring into your system, which is actually helping you to manage your conditions and feel better in the situation. You can call it placebo, you can call it energy healing, you can call it even a prayer. The only thing is that if it works, it works. Okay, so we are going on a break now, and then I will still share with you some other advices and help around panic attacks. So you are watching Release with Ease, and I am your host, Edith Bekis, and this show was brought to you by Bold Brave TV. And see you soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Release with Ease. I am your host, Edith Bekis, and this show was brought to you by Bold Brave TV. So after this meditation, I also wanted to give you some other advice. So if you think about it, why we are having panic attacks or where certain people are having panic attacks is again because of losing control or not knowing what to do, right? Being scared of the outcome, having negative assumptions. And it's all going back to the situation that we got disconnected from the way like how we feel about our body, the responsibility towards our health and well-being, and we giving out this responsibility to others, to the doctors, to other people, and then we lost that connection with ourselves. Basically, that's why we're going through these situations. And as soon as you understand that you are actually always in control and you are actually always the answer to your questions and you are responsible for your health, then everything is gonna put back into place, like into your health, right? So how it's gonna work? So when you understand that you are in control, and then everything is just happening because of your mind is making up stories, then learning mindfulness and then making sure that you are actually telling good stories, then this situation is not gonna happen. So when I'm going through the healing process, let's say the 30 days incubator I'm doing with my clients for panic attacks, then basically I also make sure that they learning it from a perspective of mindfulness, making sure that they are telling themselves good things like affirmations, good stories, for example, I am safe, I am stable, I am secure, I am healthy, I am in a good condition, I am, so telling yourself things which makes you feel in peace and harmony, and also telling yourself things like I am strong, I am healthy, and then you tell that story to yourself, then you understand that nothing can happen to you. And what is happening is not something severe, it's just nothing serious, it's just something that you made up in your mind, all right? So telling mind, so if you are mindful, then you can start reprogramming your mindset. It's subconscious reprogramming, telling affirmations, which is putting your brain back to the right place, and then basically understanding that yes, I am safe. Okay. And then the other thing is that when I work with them, yes, we start first with energy healing, as I mentioned, then we actually start with meditation and the source memory healing. So the meditation helps with the mindfulness. They feel more in peace, they feel more in control about their thoughts and emotions. And then the source memory healing is just an additional tool, which actually the one which is the key to long-lasting results. So the whole episode I was talking about mitigation, I was talking about quick fix, right? So the real solution is in the source memory healing. A couple of weeks ago, I was doing a source memory healing session right here in one of the episodes. So if you go back to past episodes, it was beginning of April, like 4 weeks ago, I guess, when I was doing source memory healing. So source memory healing would be the ultimate solution for these panic attacks as well, because it's showing you where is the root of this issue. Why are you having actually these reactions? What happened to you in your childhood or in your past life, which is now getting triggered? So in for example, with one of my latest clients, it turned out that she had a childhood trauma, and then we had to heal that and release that. And then there was a young adulthood trauma, we had to heal and release it to finally get over the current situation. What happens is when you rewrite your past, when you rewrite those emotions in the past experiences, basically you have a closure, you forgive, you let go, and then you create a brand new future which doesn't need to include the triggers anymore. So that situation won't get triggered anymore because it's got the resolution. So then you're not going to experience the reactions. All right. So it's all about healing the root so the triggers stops. The triggers are not going to stop until you don't heal the roots. And might you start knowing how to be mindful, might you become resilient, but the trigger is gonna still come and hit you if you're not doing the deep work releasing from the root. Okay, that's what most of the people do actually, that they are meditating, doing yoga, going to the gym, practicing this kind of um, practices because they reached mindfulness. And what's happening is, yes, they are mindful now, they are much stronger in mind and body, so when the triggers are coming, they are not reacting, they are just responding. But it's much better if you heal the root and the triggers are not even coming, because that takes less time. Healing the roots and stopping the triggers is one session, while becoming mindful can take months and years of practice. Whatever, it depends what you practice, because it's a longer reprogramming. It needs to be more reprogrammed in your body, in your mind, basically, with neurons. And then when you do the source memory healing, it's actually in your akashic records, and it's more with emotions, releasing and reframing it, then with brain reprogramming. So it's just a different method, is with a different outcome. And then I just realized that it's much better and much more long-lasting results if you basically do source memory healing, because then you're not gonna get into too much obstacles or challenges anymore, especially in that area which you cleared, because the lesson was learned, right? So they say that universe is put you into the same situation over and over again until you're not learning the lesson. But that's the thing, that you can actually release that from the root, that equals lesson learned, and then you're not getting triggered with the same situation anymore. You're not getting into the same situation. It's similar to, also people say, like, it's a karmic cycle or it's a karmic pattern you are always entering, and then you can stop these karmic patterns in different ways. You can do it with the healing, right? Or you can do it with mindfulness. Again, so mindfulness is also helps to make better decisions, and that can also help you stopping the pattern. But it's, as I said, it takes longer to become mindful and make always the right decisions than just doing the healing, the source memory healing. So how can you do that, right? So if you want to reach me and try out source memory healing, I have several several places to do that. So my website is edithbekis.com. You can just book in a free synergy session where we can discuss and then actually help you through like how this is actually happening, creating you a healing blueprint, I would say. And then also introduce you the 30 days incubator, which is one of the method program I do. Or you can also join the school community. So I created a school community called Release with Ease, the same name as this show, to make it easy to find. So if you go to school.com, you just go to discovery part, the search, and then you search Release with Ease or my name, Edith Bekis. And then basically there is a community and I have amazing clients there and also facilitators welcoming you there. So you can feel safe and welcomed, and you can discuss there all of your situations. And there is every week we have a 90 minutes session when we do meditation, manifestation, healing exercises, and Q&A. And also you meet with me on Zoom in a group setting. And we also have a meditation library with very powerful karma healing and ancestral healing meditations, and also a course which called Life Transformation System course. And this is, you get access to this as soon as you join. There is a 7 days free trial, so you can join for free just to figure out and find how you like it. And then also, if you stay with us, if you decide to stay, then the first bonus what you receive is a source memory healing. So already staying after 1 week, paying the first month, you already get a one source memory healing with as a bonus. And then if you stay 6 months with us, then you get the Elemental Light Healer course, the energy healing course which I created 2 years ago. And then if you stay a whole year, then you get access to the Karma Healing Facilitator Level 1, where you can become a facilitator and also do source memory healing with clients. So there are lots of bonuses there. It's a great environment and many powerful healings in the meditation library and also with me on a weekly basis. So if you are craving for healing, if you feel like you can't deal with your depression, anxiety, panic attacks, insomnia, addiction, so any kinds of mental illness, even if you feel lost and you don't know what's wrong with you, I highly recommend to join and get advice and help from me and from my facilitators. Because, you just want to feel happy, you just want to feel joyful, you just want to have a better life, I believe, and you don't want to struggle anymore. So this is your calling for that, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this episode as well, and I hope to see you next week. I'm coming every Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And please leave any comments or likes if you're watching this on any platform. I would love to see your feedbacks and hope to see you next week as well. You were watching Release with Ease. I am your host, Edith Bekis, and this show was brought to you by Bold Brave TV. And enjoy your weekend.